Are you on the hunt for a new gaming monitor? Gaming monitors come in a variety of flares, sizes, and even more varied price tags. Usually, choosing the best gaming monitor is a suggestive matter, and it comes down to balancing out diverse aspects to isolate the monitor which exhibits the best value for you. But what are the things you should pay attention to in a gaming monitor? In today's video, we will answer that question as well as provide some additional insight. The first and most important factor to consider, of course, is the display resolution. Gaming monitors today have the following resolutions: 1080p, which is full HD or high definition, 1140p, identified as QHD/2K, and 2160p, identified as UHD/4K. A higher resolution means a higher pixel count, which in turn means better visual detail and higher image clarity. However, the biggest obstacle that keeps most gamers from QHD and UHD is hardware limitations. QHD is slowly becoming the new standard, with most mid-range gaming rigs being able to maintain a stable 30 frames per second in that resolution. UHD is an entirely different story, as only the most potent modern GPUs will be able to push over 30 frames per second and hope to reach 60. That said, before deciding on your ideal resolution, consider your GPU power and whether you prefer performance or visual quality. In most cases, we advise going with a higher resolution, either QHD or UHD, due to it being more future-proof. Next is refresh rate. A monitor's refresh rate is measured in hertz, and it measures how many times the monitor can refresh the displayed image per second. This also determines how many frames per second the monitor will be able to display. There are three refresh rates for monitors: 60 Hz, 144 Hz, and 240 Hz. It is important to keep in mind that a high refresh rate serves no purpose unless your GPU is monstrous enough to push the adequate number of frames per second. So, before deciding on getting a 144 Hz or a 240 Hz monitor, make sure that your graphics card can run the games that you want at such high frame rates. Now let's look at adaptive sync. You should also consider either FreeSync or G-Sync if you want no screen tearing while playing games. A lot of newer gaming monitors already include either of those two, so keep an eye out for that. AMD FreeSync adds no extra cost to the base price of the monitor, and it's only compatible with AMD graphics cards, while NVIDIA G-Sync adds a premium, which is typically $100 to $150, and it only works with NVIDIA cards. Having either of these technologies enabled will essentially get rid of screen tearing with very little performance loss. So little, in fact, that you won't notice it. Let's look at panel technology. Today, monitors rely on two types of panels: TN, which is twisted pneumatic, and IPS, which stands for in-plane switching. Without going into the technical differences between the two, let's address the key differences. IPS panels offer better all-around visual quality. This means more vibrant and more accurate color reproduction, as well as better viewing angles. The biggest advantage of TN panels is they support faster response times, which is what we will look at next. Pixel response time is measured in milliseconds, and it represents how much time a single pixel needs to switch from black to white or switch between different shades of gray. But what does that mean for gaming? Essentially, the lower the response time is, the smoother the camera movements will be. On the other hand, a high response time will lead to motion blur, since pixels don't have enough time to switch between colors during fast camera movement. Another possible issue is ghosting, but that is only really a problem with TVs today. Now, as mentioned earlier, TN panels support 1 millisecond response times, while IPS panels can only go as low as 4 milliseconds. Which one you choose depends entirely on whether you prefer responsiveness or visual quality. What's more, you may not even notice a difference between 1 millisecond and 4 milliseconds unless you compare them side by side or are already used to lower response times. Screen size. Screen size isn't as big a deal with monitors since you will be viewing them up close and the differences are fairly minor. Today, Gaming monitors stick to anywhere between 21 inches and 27 inches since those represent the perfect balance of visual clarity and viewing comfort. Anything higher and they would have to be watched from a distance. Anything smaller wouldn't benefit from such high resolutions. Which size you choose is entirely up to you. However, if you are going with a 1080p monitor, it is best not to go larger than 24 inches, since the lower pixel density will inevitably lead to some unsightly aliasing. Connectors. A modern gaming monitor has the following inputs and outputs. DisplayPort 1.4. This is identified as a narrow rectangle with one corner slanted and is the best choice for video and audio transfer on a PC. HDMI 1.4 and 2.0. This is also identified as a rectangle but has two slanted corners. HDMI does not support refresh rates as high in higher resolutions as DisplayPort, but are just as viable for mid-range solutions, and they also transfer both video and audio. A 3.5mm audio output. This is designed as a more convenient means of connecting headphones or speakers directly to the monitor instead of to your motherboard's back panel or case's front panel. Apart from those, a monitor may also have a 3.5mm audio input and one or several USB ports of varying types. There are other types of connectors that a monitor can include, but the ones just mentioned are the most important. Video and audio compatibility should not be an issue, since most graphics cards come with one or more display ports or HDMI ports, and they can both transfer sound. The only thing to keep in mind is whether there are any USB devices that you intend to plug directly into the monitor and plan your purchase accordingly. And there you have it. All the important factors to consider when choosing a gaming monitor. Keep all of this information in mind and you can rest assured that you will make a smart purchase. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe. If you have comments or questions, please check the comments section below.